Good evening, everybody, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're all good. It is Monday evening here, which means it's the next round of the European Le Mans Series Online Championship. It is the second season, and it is round 2 that's going to be taking place at Silverstone on the ELMS layout. So we'll be using the old Heritage pits, the one that makes Turn 1 be Cops Corner rather than Abbey Corner, and Farm Village, Loop, all that stuff. But yeah, we've got Cops, then Maggots, Beckett's, and all that good stuff. Great circuit. Driving the LMP2, the ELMS unrestricted version, which will be very, very nice around this track. It is very, very fast, very, very flowing, and it's going to be a bit of a physical one. An hour and a half in total, and yeah, it's quick. It's the car. It's quick. We'll have to do a little bit fuel saving for this one, just to make sure that we do get to the end with just one pit stop, not having to do any more than that, because that will obviously cost us a fair amount of time. And the tyres also work out in our favour going that route as well, because we get the usual 8 tyres. So basically, one fresh set for the race and qualifying. So yeah, hopefully we can have ourselves a better race than we had last week, and finish ourselves a bit higher up the grid, hopefully on the podium. Hopefully we'll keep things clean, get a nice good qualifying lap, all that good stuff. Good to see you here, Jensen, already. How are you doing, good sir? And everyone else jumping into the live stream, hope you're all well as well. Had a good weekend, and loaded ready for this and the week ahead as well. Right, I'm going to very quickly load up my setup, ready for qualifying here. Should be about enough. 3. Yes, should be. Hey, Muad. Thank you very much for the well wishes. Let's go with that. Let's go ahead and bring up the game as well, so you can see a couple of things. We'll go up a couple of clicks there, and I think we should leave everything else as is in prep for today's race. So hopefully this all goes well. So we're about to jump into the qualifying session in a minute. It's going to be dry throughout the entire event, which is good. Attention, you're about to climb into the rig and VR for your evaluation. Oh look, listen to your race whilst I die. No, don't do that, mate. Just focus on your evaluation race. Don't worry about keeping tabs as to what's going on here, or only distract you. And you don't want that, especially when you're driving in VR, and especially when you're doing an evaluation race as well. You generally want to be as clean as you possibly can be, so you get into the league that you are trying to enter. So don't worry about it. Go ahead and come back and watch the VOD tomorrow or later this evening, whatever you fancy doing. But yeah, we're in split 1, as we can see. There is a pro LMP2 driver in here. Alex. Where is he? The names are moving up and down, which is a little bit annoying and making it hard to read. There he is. Pascal. It's actually got a lower rating than I have. There are a few drivers. 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got higher rating than I have. 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, there's quite a few people in here who've got higher rating than myself, so that's good. Bodes well for potentially getting a whole bunch of rating here if we get ourselves a good race result. Hello, Michael. Hello, Sunset. Let's see you guys both here as well. Right, now the question is how many laps do we go with? Do we rest the 2, or do we seriously just go with the 3? because it's quite easy to exceed track limits here. The first flying lap is going to be very much a bank lap, so it'll give me 2 push laps if I wanted to go. So if I invalidated one of those push laps, I've at least got another one to kind of lean on. Whereas if I've to go for 3 laps, I've got my out lap, the bank lap, and then 1 shot flying lap. So I'll let you guys decide. 3 laps or 4. JL, probably sick of this question, but did you have a chance to get your hands on Project Motorsport? Nope. Or Project Motor Racing, you mean? Nope. Not tried it at all. It's a little bit difficult with the work that I do. There's a slight conflict of interest there when getting into betas and programs and things like that, because I am working on a sim as well. So although it'd be nice, and obviously I know a lot of the straightforward studio guys, it kind of feels wrong jumping into their beta program early, or trying to get into it early, when I myself am working on a sim as well. Right, I think I'm going to go with the 4 laps, just because it gives me a little bit more of a buffer. So let's go ahead and get ourselves out on track now. Yeah, I'm glad you understand, JL. Not yet, Muad. Very, very soon, though, you will. Very soon. Obviously, I'll be posting all over socials when that does go live, and what it is that I'm actually working on, as well as my Discord, so you guys can see and find out. But obviously, I can't say until then as to what it actually is. Let's go in super easy on the tyres at this point, because try and take as little life out of them as I possibly can, whilst trying to build some temperature. So it's probably a good idea that we are going for the 4 laps here. Or 3 flying laps, shall I say. We have the time for it. Yeah, feeling fairly hopeful for this race. I did do a members only live stream last night where I was practicing and trying to figure out the setup for the car. We kind of got somewhere with it, but I was really starting to struggle in high speed corners towards the end. Figured out what the fix was after the recommendation from someone last week. I can't quite remember who it was. They recommended downloading Tiny Pedal 42.9. Jesus Christ. Someone's got some serious pace in here, especially as like a first flying lap as well. Yeah, I recommended downloading Tiny Pedal to see the actual ride heights live. And with that, straight away I was able to identify that the rear end was sitting too low in the high speed corners. It was dropping down lower than the front ride heights. And that was the source of my problems. So I've since made some changes this evening, and the car is now much better in the high speed stuff. So this should be good fun. Yeah, it seems quite. The graphics on it are really quite basic. There's nothing fancy there going on. As you can see, I've got Race Labs up, and I'm using that instead. Mainly because I think it looks a little bit nicer, and it's already configured. It's got a layout that I'm happy with. However, certainly for the practice sessions, I'll be using elements of Tiny Pedal to help me out in setting up the car. Because whilst it's not quite as, I guess, useful and in-depth as Motec is, it's certainly a lot easier to set up and configure. And yeah, it's yeah, it's designed by an engineer or a coder, not a designer or a UI artist. Right, here we go. Let's not do that. Thankfully, we shouldn't have taken too much out of the tyres because we spun onto the grass pretty quick there. Just a slight lapse of concentration. Now we've got 2 laps to try and get a good lap in. So let's push, see what we can do. Thank you very much for the well wishes, Luca. Indeed, language. That is the LMP2 moment of all LMP2 moments. Oh. Indeed, that was just I think a momentary lapse of concentration and too much of a flick in terms of trying to set myself up for that final turn. Do have the fuel for one more. It's P9. No, invalidated. Let's just go with that. I don't want to take too much out of these tyres because I'm going to want them for the race, but the setup is a little bit more aggressive this time round than the race setup. Where is it? Did I make the changes? Did make the changes, didn't I? No, I want that. Did I save this as you? No. Let's save this as the query setup. Very cute. So yeah, providing you can keep the car under wraps in those last couple of corners, it actually works quite nicely. Right, I was going to... No, I'll leave it at 1.2. I don't want to... I want to start fiddling with things and push it a little bit too hard. I think we should be good for ELMS and all that stuff, I hope. So we'll do that. We'll make that one little change. But we are on DP9, and that's in and around my PB as well, which is quite nice. I feel like I probably could go quicker. I could get down to the 43.4s, maybe, so we may have gained a position also, but yeah, it's still quite tough. Quite difficult. Right, let's not do what we did last Thursday. Make sure that everything is all set up. Apologies there with the music. 144 lap times. Probably going to be in and around the fastest sort of pace for a number of these drivers at the top there. But yeah, these guys are very, very quick. And they're not too bad. A lap. Usually the second lap, they're kind of they got a bit of temperature to them, not ideal. But a lap and a half, definitely up there, and should be all good. Right. Yeah, this I do want to. Set up like so. And we should be all good. Set, ready for the beginning of this race. Hopefully we can keep things clean. Hopefully we can have ourselves a good one to work up through the field and get a good result. The scary thing is, Cops is the first corner, which is obviously very, very high speed. Hopefully people will be sensible with that. Yep, thank you very much. Pre-miner, I'm aware that the music is on, as I can hear it as well. To be fair, the Spa Silver race was in like 15 degrees track. It's a bit warmer here, 37.2 degrees track temp. Alright, here we go, ladies. Second round, and gents, the second round of the season. Hopeful for this, as we can usually go forward in the races. But let's see what's in store. Alright, awkward pause on the music there, but now we are getting underway.
Green flag, green flag.
Pretty good reaction to the lights. The car behind is very, very close to the back of us. Just settle in here, let everyone else do that sort of thing. Caught on the grass on the outside there a little bit. Thankfully the car behind doesn't really want to attack us there. Nice. Just going to give a slight lift there just to protect the tyres a little bit. Sounds like there might have been a bit of contact between a couple of people. Right, first lap done and dusted. Didn't mean to drop to fourth. like I caught the curb a little bit awkwardly there. We do indeed have fuel to save. Oh. Oh dear. Yeah, I'm getting undercut there. Switch back on, should I say? At least we're facing in the right direction. Now that we're following these guys and we're pretty close to the back of them, maybe we can use that slipstream to help with the fuel saving. Right, we're half a lap away from the GT3s. The LMP2 field is spread out a fair amount, or pretty evenly, between us all up ahead. So obviously people are kind of trying to settle into their race, their strategies. Also dirty air, I think, is also a slight factor here as well. These cars are so aero dependent. Yep. They're also really quite aero dependent as well. In fact, pretty much all the prototypes are. So the only one that doesn't really feel like the dirty air is too bad is the hypercars. The gaps just tend to naturally form there because it's quite difficult to just drive those cars close to one another consistently for a long period of time. This is going to be 0.75 just for that. Jesus. Okay. Definitely don't want to be extending the outside of turn 1 there then. Let me be very careful with that. Again, a little bit deep. No. There wasn't really ever any space for you to go there, was there? Thankfully that hasn't really done too much damage to the tyres, if any. Then we got quite lucky there with us spinning onto the grass pretty much immediately. Past that guy. Oh. Still get a track limits warning for it. No. You see it a little bit too often. People they get way too thirsty for blood. Make silly moves sticking their noses in where noses don't belong. I mean, I tried to give them a little bit of room, but at the same time, they're a little bit too eager and ambitious, I reckon. Alright, here's all the GTs. This is where things get interesting, scary, and a little bit chaotic. See what I mean? Could have gone the outside here, but instead I'll do it here. Oh. Wasn't quite expecting that oversteer. Oh, someone else is off. It's a GT3 and LMP2. So that's us back up into P9. Oh, why are you going so wide there? It's not helped us. That has. Oh god, this is fun. Also terrifying. Sorry, didn't want music. Can I get these two before turn one? Please. Can. Pretty important and crucial. It's giving me a bit of breathing room. Right, now we can just try and settle back into our race again. We have gained some ground on the two cars in front for all that traffic. Which is nice. Oh, they've gone deep. So, the guy who I had contact with, I think, has just caused a little bit more chaos. Someone's not happy with him in the chat. Gotta be careful there. Don't want to push that front left tyre too hard. This is one that's definitely going to be wearing the quickest. As we can see. No. Fuck. That's not good. Hasn't done too much damage to the tyres, but 2 spins is not ideal. Need to get on top of these cars. What in the hell? Ah, there goes the rear wing. That's... There's the pit entry. There. That's frustrating. It's going to be very hard to rescue this race now. That's quite funny, Murad. And yeah, I think the tyres did get a little bit too hot there at the end. I needed to do more testing and double checking the race setup as the tyres continue to wear away. So the runs that I've been doing have been really, really short. Kind of been getting into those sort of realms where the tyres go off and the car becomes quite difficult to drive with. Probably should have, in my panic there, probably should have changed tyres, but hey ho. Especially as they are flat spotted. Feel the vibrations. Well, one thing now, we don't actually have to worry about fuel. So we can just go full push. 1 minute, 31 seconds to the car ahead. Oh, we are struggling. Probably gone up too high on the rear ride height. Probably should have left it as it was on default. Obviously, we're learning things each time that we go out and practice. So I've not managed to refine and find the ideal sort of like setup window as of yet. Obviously, it's showing. No door. Indeed not. Very competitive field, and don't think I've quite got the car dialed in. Still tricky to drive at this stage of the race. It was alright to start off with. But there's some inconsistencies about it now. Well, even the race leader's just done a 151. And I think that guy might have a whole bunch of damage. So, like, all hope is not lost. Not yet. Could be some positions to be gained. This LMP2's terrorizing GT3s, or just GT3s having issues? in line now by the Porsche into that corner. Feel the tyre wear on that front left. Still narrow to go. Hello. What is all this about? What was all that about? GT3's getting out the way of GT3s and getting all over the place. To the dirty part of the circuit. It's not the rear's locking, I don't think, though. I think it's the overall balance of the car. I think I've got probably too much brake. Rear's set up too high. So I can feel it even in the transition between corners and like Magus and Beckett's there. I can feel the rear end is just a little bit more loose and snappy than I'd like it to be. It's not gripping as well as the front. Was going to go for that space there, but he said no. Try to hold it, but it just doesn't want to. Kind of had to commit to going down the inside of that Porsche there to not upset that battle. And then yeah, just didn't have the grip for it. I apologise that this one's turned out to be a bit of a stinker. I was quite looking forward to this race. It's obviously very apparent that I've not practiced enough with the car and haven't quite got on top of it yet. Not even going to be space for me to go around the outside here. Yeah, I think it's mainly the rake that's the main cause of my issues. It's like even there, the car's rotating a little bit more than I want it to. Nice rejoin, mate. There's not really much you can do in the LMP2. There's not really anything you can adjust other than traction control and brake bias. So it's more just about driving the car in the right way. Yeah, that's the thing, Free Miner. It's like... it's the inconsistency of it. Tricky with those curves. You can't really run them in the LMP2 car. As you hear, they ground out, which really hurts your speed and momentum. But the GT drivers don't really know that unless they've driven this car plenty around this circuit. At least I'm not the only one struggling at this stage of the race. Gaining ground on P12. I think it's going to be very difficult to get back up into the top 10 here in this race, considering they're 32 seconds up the road plus a whole lap. Yep, trying to. So just trying to figure out in my head whether the pace issues that I'm having now, whether they are linked to the setup and its nervousness and me just trying to drive around it, or whether tyres are the main differentiating factor that's making the car feel a lot more difficult and slower to drive, or whether it's the setup in this part of the race with this amount of fuel where the ride heights will have changed and increased. Whether that's changed things on the car. In terms of its aero balance and all that sort of thing. Really get Motec set up and running, because then I can run a race with Motec in the background and then look at, say, like the brake height changes over a stint, get an accurate picture as to what is going on with the car and be able to factor that sort of thing into the setups for the future. That's certainly one thing that I could do. a good idea, Free Miner. Did not think about that. You can do accelerated fuel as well. So door, yeah, Tiny Pedal does show the ride heights, but obviously it's here live whilst I'm driving around, so trying to remember things as you're kind of going on is a lot more difficult, whereas like with Motec I can basically go, right, what's my ride height on lap 1 at this exact point on the hangar straight, right, and let's jump 10 laps. What's the ride height at the same place, 10 laps on, and then 10 laps on again from that. You got all that accurate data there to compare against, rather than like driving it, recording it, and then watching it back and trying to get numbers from live, updating numbers, if you get me. But I do have Tiny Pedal downloaded, and I did use it in the practice session just before this race, which did help one of the issues that I was having with the setup, but I think I might have gone too far with the overall ride height, which is something that I haven't changed this evening, but in my pursuit of trying to fix things in previous practice sessions, I made adjustments to the rear ride height and put quite a bit of brake in. Alright, everyone is into the pits. I think now might be a good time to come and do the pit stop myself as well. Why am I braking? So like the tyre, the car just kind of gave up. I don't know whether that's the tyre or whether that's brake. Thank you. Well, at least that was a nice pit entry. Oh, I thought I was maybe a little bit too far back there. I need to get good. This car. I feel like I got on top of the GTEs. Not the LMP2 as of yet. At least we now got nice fresh tyres as well. Problem is, they are now cold. But they'll heat up pretty quickly, so these are the quality tyres, so they've had a heat cycle on them. Yeah, I'm a little bit dull. I'm just trying to mix things up variety-wise. I mean, I was going to do this in the LMP3, but they didn't have the LMP3 class for it. I'm going to have to do some fuel saving in this stint. As the leader looks like they've picked up their pace. Alright, see if we can close in on P12. Now the car's behaving nicely again. Yep, that's the idea, Door. The good thing is, it does feel like there's a baseline that you can get for a number of circuits. Setups seem to be pretty similar across a number of different tracks, or at least setup direction, so that's good. It does take a lot of the guesswork trying to figure out what to do with the setup initially out of the equation. This is like, let's just go soft. Apart from this doesn't feel like you can go purely soft. This does feel like you need some stiffness for the aerodynamics to really work in this car. But again, I've not really done enough testing to properly verify that, so I could very well be wrong. P12's in trouble. Or lost a chunk of time there. Thanks, guys. Let me go. Thank you very much. Very, very kind of you. Considering I'm a lap down. Okay, so less than a lap now to P10. Get off that curb. Where are you going? We can keep this stint nice and clean. We might be able to do it. Especially if they have issues. It's going to be obviously quite tricky to do. Oh, that's P12. E11's a big ask at this point. Doing high 47s. So about a second and a half a lap quicker. Yep, exactly that door. So I had one little spin coming off the exit of Luffield here, and I managed to hit the outside wall, and that was my rear wing. That was 50 odd seconds worth of damage to repair, so it could quite easily happen to anybody else. anywhere else around the circuit in some of these higher speed areas that absolutely ruin a tyre. Still 30 minutes to go. That's felt like a long race, as you can imagine. And of course there's possibilities for people to pick up drive-through penalties as well, with the track limits. I'll remind myself of that. Following that Porsche a little bit too much there. That's cost us pretty big on that lap in comparison to P11. Nick! Finally! You'll be pleased to know that I managed to figure out the setup issue, but I've gone too far in the setup issue fixing. It's better, but I needed to refine it more. I think it's a bit too much brake, so kind of in and around this sort of point in the stint, the car becomes quite tricky to drive. Lap 37. Okay, remember that. So that's going to be a great thumbnail. That's tyres dead. Oh. And the car. There they are. I couldn't really feel the flat spots. It was alright. Might have to box for wets at this rate. To get like understeer mid-corner, I could feel it and hear it on the outside tyre just there, but when all of a sudden the car grips up on the again on the exit and the rear wants to swing round. P1 has got quite the lead. 23 seconds, in fact. Yeah, it definitely feels like I've got too much brake. It kind of feels that way, Dorks, was pushing a little bit harder than the previous laps going through Magnus and Beckett's there. So it's just like understeer. I get to the corner exit, it'll rip up again. I know tyres are worn at this point, but... Oh, P10's had a spin. I thought that skidding sound was the... God. Was the rear... sorry, the front tyre's going. Not the rears. Alright, now there's definitely some flat spots there. Yeah, tyres are hot. Yep, hot and dead. Let him get a little bit closer first before we lift and let him through. Ten more minutes. And the pain will be over. Yeah, I'd be very surprised if he was venture into the pit lane. Hence why I went that side. Because he'd be losing his podium if he was. Oh. between P3 and P20 in GT3. See how it handles these guys. Yeah, Mercedes had to lift quite a bit there to give them room. Just can't, yeah, lean on the tyre like that. P3's really struggling as well, seems. P4's still another 20 seconds behind him. Hey Ash. Will I be playing Project Motor Racing? Possibly. Certainly be giving it a go. last few laps now. It's the last lap. Cool. I was just about to say, I'm hoping this is going to be the last one. Well, I'm very, very glad that that one's over. Definitely another learning experience. Quite a few things learned from that one. Certainly in terms of setup and drivability with the car. I imagine change that I would have needed to have made. Probably that. Packers felt like they were kind of in around the right sort of space for the high-speed stuff. A little bit less brake, and I think softer springs allowing the rear to squat a little bit more probably would help. Maybe another click down on the rear ride height or two, just for later on to be a bit safer. But those certainly feel like changes. And probably that going back up to what it was as default at 65 as well, rather than down at 55. Probably also help reduce some of the rotation when off throttle going into some of the corners. Yeah, maybe a little bit less slow rebound as well, but they're all things to kind of play around with and test to see what works on the car in the future, because obviously this LMV2 has received updates in terms of the aerophysics recently in the last big patch version 1.0, and obviously this being the unrestricted car as well. There's some things to be learning with regards to the car, even though I hadn't driven it all that much before the patch either, so I didn't know what the ideal setup was going to be. But yeah, a bit frustrating, but hey ho, we managed to finish. That's the main thing. We lost singular bar rating. It's fine, still rank 2. Dear me. It's still generating results. We've got 241 points though. So who had less rating than me? We're not going to see that, are we? No, we are. No, we're not. So we don't see the race numbers of the people here. Hey ho. Where are we overall? P21. Second. Oh, we're on equal points, myself and Oscar. There's no point looking at the manufacturer, we're all in the same car. Alright, let's go and have a look through the race replay, because there's a few moments in there. Indeed, Nick. It was nice that I managed to figure that out as to what was going on. I downloaded Tiny Pedal last night, and that exposed exactly what the issue was, which was the rear was getting too low to the ground, or lower than the front in the high-speed corners. There's obviously therefore generating more downforce than the front was. Hence, well, not necessarily than the front was. But yeah, it was generating more downforce than I wanted it to, which was the reason why I didn't turn in the corners. But we managed to figure that out, and hopefully figure some other things out as well. Yeah, one thing I will say is that there won't be a stream on Thursday evening, because I'll be at the Sim Racing Expo. So yeah, there won't be the usual background, which I think is at Spa this week. Which is a shame, I miss out on that. And then I very much doubt we'll be in the next round of the European Le Mans Series on Monday either, because that'll be the day that I'll be travelling back from the Sim Racing Expo. So I'm flying out Wednesday, and then returning Monday. So keep an eye out on Twitter or X, Blue Sky, possibly Instagram, and of course follow us on Discord as well. Join the server, and I'll be posting regular updates on there as to what I'm doing and what is going on. So there'll be some cool stuff to show, I'm sure. Alright, the race start. Let's take a look at this. No funny business this time. I was paying full attention and didn't need to worry and play around with things. The car behind us was pretty close to the back of us. And they sent it around the outside and effectively completed the pass by going outside. Right, there was contact between the two cars up in front here. Yep, there we go. Caught on that outside curve a little bit there. interesting. So I'm seeing some things that other cars are doing that I'm not. So a number of cars were sparking going through Abbey towards the front. Some were sparking on the front splitter on the outside edge. Some were sparking on the leading edge of the tray in the middle of the car on the floor. Whereas I wasn't sparking at all, so I reckon I probably need to take the third spring back out again. Because other people don't seem to be running it. Cheers, Thought. Take care, and I'll catch you sometime next week. Most likely on Discord between now and then as well. So yeah, watching the cars come down the straight here, you'll probably see some sparking and yeah, me not. Cheers, mate. Much appreciated. Let's jump to the fun with GT3s. It's going to be on this lap. That's where we got the slowdown penalty for the track limits. Went up the inside of the BMW there. That's bold. Between these guys here. Oh dear, rear wing. Uh-oh. BY becomes 3. Oh. Yeah, dead. Hard to tell if this is on the BMW here or not. Yeah, they do turn in quite early, but it's a 3 wide situation, and the GTs kind of they do commit in to this corner quite early because they don't have the aero grip. We can turn in later than they can. Hence that sort of situation. Damn, Jordan did well. I think Jordan got up into P2 in the end. This must be terrifying being on like this sort of onboard and having cars, the LMP2s come flying through. in some spots, especially like Magus and Beckett's. So there goes two of them. More like this sort of angle. Don't really see. Now I'll probably show it better. I can't believe that guy left there. That gap was always closing. Alright. That is going to be it here for tonight's live stream. Thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in. Much appreciate the support. I apologise that it probably wasn't the most entertaining streams of me kind of getting inside my own head and a little bit frustrated with the car setup and the lack of work and that sort of thing that I'd put into it, but hey, we will try and go again in the next race after the Sim Expo is done and dusted. So yeah, as I say, try and keep an eye out on social media and my Discord channel as to what's going on there. With that, I'll be doing updates daily and hopefully may see you around on a live stream, YouTube or something like that. Maybe, we shall see. Until the next time though, enjoy the rest of your week, have fun, stay safe, take care.